Good morning. We'll now start. We're still in the first test, and we'll now start on section 9 on page 423. So let's start with the first problem. So, problem number 1. Number 1. If 5t equals 45, 5t is equal to 45, and tk is equal to 1, what is k? What is k? Well, 5t equals 45. This is an easy equation. You divide both sides by 5, you get t equals 9. And then you have tk equals 1. We know what t is equal to. T is equal to 9, right? So we get 9k is equal to 1. Divide both sides by 9. You get k is equal to 1 over 9. And that is choice B. That was pretty straightforward. All right. Number 2. Number 2. I'll switch colors. Number 2. Number 2. It takes 4 complete rotations it takes 4, it's early in the morning, I can't even read properly. It takes 4 complete turns of a crank to raise a window 2 inches. So, 4 turns, raise the window 2 inches. 2 inches. At this rate, how many turns does it take to raise the same window 3.5 inches? Okay, so 4 turns 2 inches. Just to simplify things, we can say, well, that's the same thing as, well, two turns per inch, right? 2 turns per inch. Or you could even say 1 turn per half inch. But let's just say 2 turns per inch. I just divided the top by 2, right? If 4 turns to do 2 inches, it's going to take 2 turns to do 1 inch. And it wants to know the same window 3.5 inches. Actually, when I first read it, I read it as 3.5 feet. So, actually, this isn't bad. 3.5. So we want to go 3.5 inches. It's early in the morning. My brain is still foggy. 3.5 inches. So actually, we could actually even ignore this. So we could just set this up as a ratio. 4 turns goes 2 inches is equal to x turns for 3.5. And 3.5, let's just write that as, we could write that as 3.5, or we could write that as 7 halves. X is to 7 halves. And then we cross multiply. So 4 times 7 over 2 is equal to 2x. And then this cancels with this, and we have 14 is equal to 2x. X is equal to 7 turns. And that's choice B. Sorry for leading you in the wrong direction. I thought they said 3.5 feet at first. Okay, turn the page. Number 3. Image clear. Alright, I'll switch colors again. Keeps it interesting for me, at least. Okay, if x over y is equal to 2/3, so x over y is equal to 2/3, what is the value of 3x over 2y? So we know this. How do we get the value of this? Well, we can just manipulate this relationship algebraically. So we have 3x over 2y on the left-hand side, and then whatever we end up on the right-hand side is our answer. So let's see how you do that. So we start off with x over y is equal to 2 over 3. Well, to get here, let's multiply both sides by 3, right? So if you do a 3 over here, then you have to also multiply this side by 3. And then if we multiply both sides by 1/2, right? Because this 2 in the denominator is essentially 1/2, right? Then you end up with a 2 here, and you end up with a 2 here. And so now we have 3x and 2y, and now we have 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, and that equals 1. Choice C. Alright, the next one looks like I have to do some drawing, so let me clear this out a little bit. Number 4. In the figure above, let me draw the figure above. Looks complicated, huh? Okay, so I have one line that goes roughly straight like this. I have one line that goes straight up like this. One line that goes like that. And I have another line that crosses that line. Something like that. Something like that. And then I got a bunch of points. Let me draw the points. It takes more time to draw these than to maybe do them. Although I haven't done this, so I don't know. Maybe it will take time. N. This is P. This is T. And then R. S. And then I have O. And I got the angle. They're calling this angle Y. Calling this Y degrees. They say this angle here is 20 degrees. And they say this is a right angle. And they say that this angle right here is x degrees. Alright, so let's read what they're saying now. So in the figure above, PS, so this is PS, and TR intersected O. Right, we drew that. ON is perpendicular to PS. Right, ON is perpendicular. This is my little perpendicular signal, look like an R. Okay, that's perpendicular. What is the value of y minus x? Interesting. So y minus x. So let me ask you a question. Y is the opposite angle to what? Right? If you remember from the geometry, opposite angles are equivalent, right? If I have two lines that intersect like this, then this angle is going to be equal to this angle, right? So we know this is y. So what angle is opposite y? Well, this angle is opposite y. This whole thing. Right? So what is this angle? This angle is x degrees plus this 90 degrees, right? It's x plus 90. That's this whole angle, right? I added this part of it plus this part, and that equals this whole angle, and it's the same thing as y. And they just really, they do all this stuff to really confuse you. Wrote 20 degrees here. None of that. I mean, none of that really matters. So y is going to be equal to this whole angle, and that whole angle is going to be equal to this 90 degrees, right? Is equal to this part plus this part plus x. Subtract x from both sides, you get y minus x is equal to 90. That's it. That was number 4. That's choice C. I drew all that, and the problem took too little time. Okay, your image, invert. All right. Okay, so here they got a schedule. In the schedule above, and hopefully you have your book open. I'm on page 424. In the schedule above, each session is to be 1.5 hours long. Each break is to be ¼ hour long, and lunch is to be 1 hour long. All right. If session, oh boy, I should just draw this thing, and maybe it'll run into the. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I did undo. Okay. So this is my chart. I have 3 columns. I got this one. And I got this one. And then I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so then I have this. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. I know, I'm going to run out of space. 5. I'm trying to make this too easy. 7. Make this too neat. 8. I don't know if I ran out of space or not, but anyway, I'll probably have to continue this in the next video. But I'll just keep drawing until the time runs out, and in the next video it'll be all set up. So let's see. This is event, begin time, begin, end. Actually, I'll just continue this in the next video. I don't want to waste your time drawing this. I'll draw it, and then we'll start the next video on this problem. See you soon.